Bringing in a new animal into your home can be a very interesting thing, as it will bring lots of joyful memories to you and your family. Animals like rabbits are very interesting to work with, whether it's a pet or part of your commercial rabbit farming project. Everything will be awesome until it becomes sick and die because of your faults. Rabbits are special animals which requires special care, but we often overlook care of animals when we bring them to the house and think that we will just take care of them like any other animals. But animals die because of your faults, because of your mistakes, because you were not paying enough attention. In this video, I'll be covering a lot about breeding of rabbits. Everything from mating, care of a pregnant rabbit, feeding requirements, kindling and preparations for kindling, care of a new mother, care of newborn kids, up to weaning and processing stage, depending on what you are breeding for. With that being said, stay tuned as I share knowledge and experiences I gained in the past years of working with rabbits. Rabbits are induced ovulators, meaning that they don't have a heat cycle. Their ovulation is normally induced by mating, 10 to 12 hours post mating. They, however, have a cycle of receptivity to mating. If it's not receptive, they usually run around the cages. They usually try to get away from the bag as much as possible. So a doe is most receptive when her vulva or the vaginal opening is red and moist, not pink and dry. That's when now you'll have a problem trying to have her mated. They become sexually mature from different ages depending on their size or the type of rabbits that you have. So small breeds, they become sexually mature between 3.5 to 4 months of age. Those ones we are talking about rabbits like a Dutch or other dwarfs, Netherlands dwarfs, etc. And medium-sized breeds, they are usually sexually mature at around 4 to 9 months old. Those ones are some like Californians and New Zealand breeds, cinnamons, etc. And giant breeds like continental giants and Flemish giants, those ones they reach their sexual maturity at around between 6 and 9 months, from 6 to 9 months old. So they take time, these ones. That's why most of the commercial breeders, they prefer medium-sized breeds for raising them for meat, because they breed earlier than the giants, which will now take a long time. You'll feed them a long time until they reach 9 months old. That's when they start breeding. So for mating, you have to take the doe to the back cage. Mating usually takes a few minutes, and take the doe back to her cage. So during mating, you have to make sure that the mating was successful. Make sure that the bug has successfully inseminated the female, or else you will have a doe which will maybe show in some signs of pregnancy. You will have what they call pseudo pregnancy, when the doe acts like a pregnant doe without really being pregnant, caused by that humping or the bug trying to mate her. So be sure to learn the signs of successful mating. I did another video earlier on. The last video I did, I explained about mating, how you conduct mating, what you see during mating. I'll post the link of the last video on the end screen. I'll just put it up there. If you want to watch it, you can just click on it and watch it. Sometimes the bugs are not very experienced, and they will just try to mate and not being successful. you might end up taking the female back to her cage thinking that the mating was successful. And so you have to look for loves. So a part that has successfully inseminated a female, you will see the back fall into the side. So from mating, now you have to check for signs of pregnancy. You can observe by looking at the physical changes, because a pregnant female will just swell up on the belly area. You will see that she's now getting fat. Sometimes you can do test mating. Just take the female to the buck's cage. Obviously the buck will try to mate. So usually when they are pregnant, they will just run around and complaining, making some funny noises. Also, you can do palpation. Like I say, I made another video explaining some of these things. So during palpation, you just put your hand on the tummy and just rub it softly. The embryos will be about the size of marbles, so you'll feel something like small balls inside the tummy, or marble-like feeling on the tummy. So some dogs are really uncomfortable about that. Some will just try to fight you off. So just be ready for that. And also, it's something that can be risky if you are not really experienced with it. Yes, you can hurt those embryos. So maybe it's worth just waiting until the dog kindle. If she doesn't kindle by the date you expect her to kindle, you can just rebreed her again. So it just takes time. It just goes with practice. So during this time, after confirming that she's pregnant, you have to make sure that you increase feed so as to support the development of the fetuses, and also the mother's nutrition, or else you will run the risk of losing the kids. Make sure that you have enough hay in the cage. Increase the amount of pellets that you are giving. Increase the amount of pellets that you are giving this dog, and also make sure that there is always water in their cages. If pregnant, by day 28 from the date of mating, or day 28 of gestation, put in a nesting box in her cage with some soft grass like arrow grass or buffalo grass. Just make sure that the grass that you are going to put is soft inside, or hay, which is a bit soft. So no need for you to prepare the nest. She will do it on herself. It's their instincts, they know that. But sometimes you may run into a problem. This new mothers, they sometimes don't know what to do. So that's why you have to keep checking. You have to keep checking to see if she did the nest. Some rabbits will not make a nest up to until the last day, or up to until some hours before kindling. And also pulling the affair. Some will make the nest with the grass and will not pull any fur until when she needs to kindle, and she will start pulling her fur, and she will deliver her kids. They are born hairless, so they will have no hair. They can't control their body temperature. So by using that grass, and also the mother pulling her fur, putting it inside, it's a way of helping them to stay warm. Failure to do so, they will just die due to cold, hypothermia. And now after giving her that box, she will probably kindle between day 28 and 34. Most of my rabbits, they just kindle before day 34 or on day 34. And during kindling, just stay away. Don't be closer to her cage, and don't try to come and help. They don't need help. And increase feed and water. Make sure that she has food. Make sure that she has water, because so as to replenish her energy during lost during labor. and also she needs to produce milk, so giving her enough food, enough hay and pellets, and also water will help her to produce milk, also to give her enough energy. And as soon as after kindling, you can go in and check the babies. You have to check if they are fed, check if they are all alive, check the number of babies. And I'm saying that because sometimes you find some babies that they are born dead. Those which are dead or born dead, you have to take them out before they decay and make other babies sick. So also by going in to check the babies, you are also going into just to make sure that she covered the babies well, they are warm enough. You have to ensure that they stay warm. So at times when the mother feeds the babies, after feeding, when she jumps outside the nesting box, some are latching on her breast and they can fall outside the nesting box. So those are the ones that you are going to pick and put it inside. That's why it's important to keep going in to check on her, to check on those kids. So as I was saying, you have to make sure that they stay warm. So if they are cold, they usually stay together. They just come together and stay together so as to try to warm each other. When it's very hot, they will spread apart, move apart. So you can do something there, whether you increase the fur or you just put them under the fur when they are cold, or pull the whole nesting box and put it somewhere warm, in a shed, in a place which is warm. Cover it with a blanket or something just to keep them warm. When it's very hot, when they are very hot, you can try to help by reducing the bedding material in the nesting box. Also, you can try to use nesting box which has a good or enough air circulation. Some people will use this nesting boxes which has no top, so they will have good air circulation. But keep in mind that the kids they are not really good at controlling their body temperatures up to about day 7. And also when you are checking them, you have to make sure that she has enough babies with her, because sometimes you can kindle just a lot of number of kids which won't be able to or feed from her, breastfeed from her. For instance, you can have a doe which can kindle 12 babies, 13 babies, and these medium-sized rabbits, they have about 8 to 10 breasts. So some may not be able to feed if you just leave all of them there, and they will die. So if she has more babies than she can raise, try to foster those babies to other mothers of about the same, who have the kids about the same age. So I also made a video about it, so you can just go there and watch that video. So I had rabbits which had many babies, so I had to foster to another mother. They really take the kids well. They are good mothers. They can be good foster mothers. I was using New Zealand rates, so they will take those babies and take care of them, feed them and raise them. So but there are some challenges also. By watching that video, you will see what my challenges are. So I was not able to raise all of them. The mother which I gave, she tried her best. She was not able to raise all of them, and it was cold also. That day onwards, you have to keep on checking those babies daily, just to check if they were all fed, and to to replenish the nesting grass or the nesting bed when necessary, because they will pee on that nesting material, so it can make them sick. So newborn kids sleep most of their time, and they only feed twice daily, early in the morning and in the evening. Yeah, early in the morning and in the evening. So you might not be able to witness that. And some people, I've had some people contacting me puzzled and not understanding why they have not seen the mother feeding the babies, and thinking that the mother was a bad mother, thinking that the mother was a bad mother not feeding the babies. So just for you to be sure if the mother is feeding, check on the times in the morning, not early in the morning around 8-9 a.m. Around 8-9 a.m. you should be able to see if they are fed. How do you know that they are fed? They will have a pink distended abdomen or pink bulging tummy. Let me just put it that way: pink bulging tummy, and they are usually full in 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't take time, 2 to 3 minutes, and they will have a big belly like that. So if they don't have a big belly, if they have they are cyanosed, the belly is wrinkled, just know that something's wrong. Whether the rabbit, whether the kids are sick, they were not able to feed in time, or the mother didn't feed at all. If some are full, the other one or few of them are not full at all, or they have wrinkled stomach and they are weak, just know that they are probably sick. Like I said, kids can be fostered, and when you foster these kids, you have to take them to another door which has babies of about the same age. Within day 3 of kindling, after kindling, because that's when there is a high chance of accepting those babies when they are still young like that. So fostering is one of the topics that I covered in my previous videos. I made another video. It's in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Also, moving larger babies to the new litter increases chances of success. After kindling, when you are checking the nest box, try to wash your hands. You clean your hands, and don't use any perfumed products in your hands, so as to maintain the scent that you found in the nesting box. Some people, what they do after, when they get to the nesting box, they just rub their hands on the mother's back, pet the mother, and then they now check the babies inside. So a tip for breeders or people who keep rabbits in a deep litter system or in colonies: a rabbit can get pregnant again in 24 hours from birth or after birth or after kindling. So make sure that it stays away from other males. If you have enough resources, make a cage for mothers, for her to stay with the babies and away from the males. 2 weeks post kindling, after kindling, these babies will now start opening their eyes, moving about, and they will start developing their fur. And at 3 weeks, they will start now eating their mother's food, jumping in and outside the nesting box, moving around, playing around, and following their mother outside the nesting box to go and feed outside the nesting box. And if you are using this nesting boxes which has a top, covered top, most of the time you'll find the mother hiding up there, because they won't be able to jump to her, because they are now constantly feeding and constantly trying to breastfeed from her, so she will try to get away from her, to get away from there. So make sure that they have enough pellets to eat. Make sure that they have enough hay to fill their bellies, and also water. But by this time, since they won't be staying in their nesting box, you can just remove the nesting box and clean it, sanitize it, sterilize it, and put it aside. Young dogs may kill and eat their young ones for a number of reasons, including nervousness, neglect, failure to provide a nesting box. So this one is usually our own fault, not putting in a nesting box in a pregnant rabbit's cage. So she will kindle without making a nest because you didn't provide material. So after kindling, not knowing what to do with those babies moving up around, she will probably kill some of those babies, eat them. Another thing is handling small kids with scented hands, and stillborn or kids dying shortly after birth. Those kids are also usually eaten by these mothers. Dogs also entering the rabbit cages. Sometimes they cause nervous dogs to eat their babies. Rabbits usually after giving birth, they eat their birth membranes. This gives them nutrients, or gives the mother nutrients she needs post kindling, and also it's a common behavior among all the mammals, because the placenta provides nutrients that the mother needs after giving birth and may stimulate lactation. By the time they are 6 weeks old, they will stop taking milk and eat all the foods that fully grown rabbits eat. Those are hay pellets and occasional grains. So be careful with young rabbits, especially at this age, as they often get sick at this stage. Make sure their cages are always clean and dry, and preferably use self-cleaning cages. Clean food and water should always be available. Weaning can be done this time. Don't move them out and mix them with other rabbits that they don't know, as it may cause stress. So you find that sometimes as breeders, we will take maybe 2 to 3 different litters and put them in a very large cage, calling it a weaning pen or something. So it can cause stress to those rabbits, moving from a place that they were very comfortable in, that they grew inside, leaving their mother and coming to join other litters, other rabbits that they didn't know, that they don't know. So just let them stay in that cage and grow in that cage. Some people, what they do, they just remove the mother and let the litter grow inside there, unless you are keeping some for breeding, which means that those ones, they also have to stay in their own individual cages. These rabbits also, they grow very well, or they grow better if they are less in cages rather than sharing. So fighting for resources sometimes causes some rabbits to grow slow. So you can move them out at 8 weeks old. Keep the ones chosen for breeding in individual cages from 12 weeks of age. You can begin to fatten up for eating or selling. It depends on what you are breeding for. It depends on what you are breeding your rabbits for. So give them as much food as they can eat, plus clean water and hay. Hay should always be available. Young rabbits are usually eaten or sold for meat when they are about 3 to 4 months old. After 4 months of age, they begin to eat a lot more food, and they gain very little weight by that time. So you have to make sure that you slaughter at around 12 weeks. So there is no use growing your rabbits up to 6 months of age and slaughtering at 6 months when you have spent way more than what you are going to make. If you have good genes, good genetics in your rabbits, by 12 weeks there will be enough. They will have enough meat now for you to harvest. So for you to have good business now, when you buy your rabbits, buy good genetics. Get good genetics. They will give you good litter. They will give you good slaughter weight at around 12 to 16 weeks of age. If you keep them longer together as a litter like that, they now become older and sexually mature, and the dogs will now start fighting in the cages, and some may even castrate each other. They will cause some damages on the body, some damages and on the ears. So we don't really want that. It's not good for the welfare of those rabbits. And also they will not be appealing to other people who are going to try and buy some breeding stock from you. So yeah, that's what I had for you. I hope you learned a lot. If you liked this video, if you learned something or you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of the same content or similar content, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and share the video with other people that might be interested in the same content. And I will be putting up another video soon where we will now be discussing some rabbit ailments or some rabbit diseases and conditions, management of those conditions and prevention of those conditions, the common rabbit conditions that you see in many rabbitries. So stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that content, that upcoming content. Bye bye. Enjoy. See you soon.